Well, a very warm welcome, everybody, to a track that we haven't been to for quite a while. Welcome to Knockhill in a sunny, bonny Scotland. Unexpected conditions for us here this evening for round 3 of the Club 100 iRacing Championship, but welcome conditions nonetheless. As I say, don't worry about that symbol that says 53%. That's 53% humidity tonight, not 53% chance of rain. The track is dry and the racing is lit for us here this evening. And I'm not on my own this evening as well. Howard Mitchell does send his regards, but we have drafted in the new voice of Club 100 and BUKC competition to join me here in the commentary box, the virtual commentary box for the first time. Good evening, Mr. Reeve Taylor. How are you doing tonight, mate?
Very well indeed, thank you very much, Andrew. It is an absolute pleasure to be here. As you say, Scotland ain't looking like this at the moment, is it? But I'm glad it's looking like this for us to go racing this evening.
So it's the MX-5s in action tonight for the second time this season. And as I say, this circuit, the last time we saw this on the calendar, I want to say was early 2022. And it was for a TCR race as well. So it's the first time we've run the MX-5s around Scotland's premier track. Let's also give you an update, if the technology works, of what the points look like heading into tonight. We've had 2 rounds, of course, and it's not working. It's not working at all. Let's try and fix that straight away and get things up and running for the championship. Whilst I'm doing that, Reeve, introduce yourself. Give those, particularly the Club 100 seniors who watch, a little bit of a background of your history within Club 100 as the community.
So yeah, so as I say, big thank you for having me. Initially, my first introduction into Club 100 was via the BUKC, an esteemed championship of around about 2 rounds in my first season, when I decided that, you know what, talking about the racing is probably better than actually participating in it for myself. So ever since then, very kindly, Double Dash and Andrew and JV and Club 100 have all taken me on board, and I've started to pick up a few more rounds within the Club 100 racing scene. So you might recognise me from the likes of Cadets and Juniors, from plenty of BUKC action, and a little bit of seniors in the mix as well. But this is my first night in the Club 100 iRacing League. I'm very much looking forward to it. I've done a few other sim racing leagues in the past, still actively do one, including one that recently visited Knockhill within the past couple of weeks. But I'm looking forward to jumping in on some iRacing action this evening.
I found the button, Reeve. It's working now. A very good evening as well to the University of Liverpool Motorsport. Is it Motorsport Society or is it Karting Society at Liverpool?
Technically the Racing Society, although we're mainly only the old graduates at this point.
Fair enough. But a very, very warm welcome to you. I know you all tuned in a lot for the previous round. I hope you are well stocked with snacks and drinks and ready for your frivolities here this evening. I shall say no more, but I am fully aware. Oh, and I half approve. Well done. Anyway, here's the championship scores heading into tonight. Matthew Swain has the championship lead at the moment, 450 points. Remember, it's 240 maximum for a race evening, so not a bad start for Swain. 450 from a possible 480. Max Andrews, the winner of the first round in terms of points in the MX-5s back at Navarra, is on 414. Sam Spinell 344. Tom Saunders 341. Josh Mitchell 334. That's your top 5. And yes, you are reading that correctly. That's 5 clubmans at the moment in the top 5. Still low on Prem numbers. Premiers from last year. Come on, get involved. You can still enter from round 4 onwards and get a full championship score. And we have had one of them return tonight in the shape of Mike Hart. So welcome back, Mike, in the bright pink number 11. He'll be out there on track tonight. It does mean at the moment Adam Brown is the Premier leader on 305 points. Some of these categories may change, I should say, over the next round or so, now that we've got more data in, particularly for those newer clubmans. But to say, just behind Joao Castro at the moment is Adam Brown. So 325 for Castro, 305 for Brown. Cameron Watson, Ronald Grossman and Matthew Shawnee have all had good starts to the season. Shawnee at the moment your top scoring intermediate on 276, a brilliant start for a driver who was a rookie last year and has really stepped up so far this season. Jack Air 11th, Axel Slijepcevic, who won 2 out of 3 races in these MX-5s at Navarra, is 12th. Axel did not have a good night at Sebring. Quite bizarre event that happened for Axel, which I probably should have mentioned in driver's briefing, but I forgot. Drivers, if you're listening to me right now, do not join the grid, then exit the grid and expect the timer to tick all the way through to 0. Apparently, if you join the grid, come off the grid, and then in the meantime everybody else joins the grid, iRacing still thinks you're on the grid and will set the race to go whether there's 45 seconds to go on the timer or not. So that's why Axel had to start the first race of Sebring from the pits. Robert Crawford is another one of the rookies. He might move up a class at least after tonight, depending on how results go. 225 points at the moment. Tom Roberts is in the house. 222 on the board, ahead of John Adey, Yusuf bin Sahel, Peter Knight and Murray Adams. We'll also just run through the second half because we've got time tonight to run through all of these. Tim Ellis, Sam Dimolo, they're in the top 20. Patterson, Ward, Whitehouse, Sanders, Delamere, Alston, Cook, Riddervold, Mignon and Wong, all in the top 30. Hale, Brown, Iqbal, Boylan, Mock and Lines, all have only done one race so far this season. And continuing on down, Jack Mitchell Lowe had his first appearance. Watch out for Jack tonight. He is a rookie, but he does race MX-5s in real life. So let's see how much that translates into sim racing action here at Knockhill. Ollie Walker, Athena Cooper, Ollie Clegg have all raced so far this season. Not quite yet seen the likes of Andrew Dawson, James Fremont, although we will tonight for Fremont. Jay Elliott, Joel Julius, Mike Weddle is having his first racing appearance of this season tonight, and Mike Hartis as well. And a speedy continued recovery to Mr. Steve Hicks. He has sent me a photo of his scan from Warwick Hospital this evening of his shoulder. He ain't race ready, we'll just put it that way. So he's not going to be ascending up to the loft any time soon. So maybe back for the Nürburgring. Yeah, there we go. That is all the news. Hello to Motorsport Magpie, who reckons hopes his livery is working. It wasn't working earlier, David. I might give it a bit of a refresh in a minute. And hello to George Lawrence, who says Reeve Taylor fans are in the house. What do you make of that, Reeve?
Well, George has only got time to write that because he's also in the broken arm / shoulder club, so he's got nothing else to do.
Thank you very much for tuning in. Wow, we've got 21 people watching already. We've not even got into qualification mode yet. Do give the stream a like, share it with your friends and family as well. Do hope you're going to be enjoying. I think it's going to be a really, really exciting night of racing here, Reeve. As you say, you've been commentating on some other races around Knockhill. What do you think we can come to expect around this track?
I think we can come to expect drivers trying to take the most of the opportunities that present themselves out on track there. What we've seen, at least what I've seen of late, is Knockhill. It's your pretty traditional British circuit. It's very high speed in some part. It's also technical and quite narrow. So in modern cars, in fast modern cars, which believe it or not, the MX-5 is compared to what Knockhill was originally designed around. Those opportunities aren't very present, so you're going to have to watch out for drivers that need to be brave, shall we say.
Indeed. So, checkered flag is out. Matt Swain, for what it was worth, was fastest in that 90-minute open free practice session with everybody out on track at once on a 54.034. Everything going quiet indicates to us that qualifying is not too far away. If it is your first time watching one of these feeds, one of these broadcasts, this is lone qualifying. What's the easiest way of making sure that nobody can complain about blocking, about traffic in a qualifying session? Make them all run on their own little parallel universe of a session, so they can't get in each other's way. They will get 2 flying laps, and of course the qualifying track limits are set to strict. So they need to be, I won't say careful, Reeve, but they need to be on point to know that they haven't got a lot of time to get in the zone. And you can see from the track as well, track conditions stay the same. So a lot of debris, detritus and sand has already been dragged onto the circuit. It's not going to be easy conditions for the drivers, is it?
That is very true indeed, particularly at that chicane that we were just looking at there. We were discussing earlier on, just a bit of a pain point this chicane might become, especially during qualifying, as it is pretty tight, pretty high speed. Drivers want to push the limit there. And as you say, the dragging gravel onto the circuit, that is not going to offer you the most amount of grip in the short wheelbase. Fantastic little Mazdas.
Indeed. So I think pretty much everyone's headed out straight away. This is probably going to be one of the shortest qualifying. They've got 10 minutes to get this outlap 2 flyers in. We set it at 10 minutes because some of the circuits that we go to, if it rains, trying to get an outlap and 2 laps in the space of, say, 6, 7, 8 minutes can actually be quite tricky. But that's not going to be a problem tonight for the drivers. I think pretty much everyone is out on circuit. Let's have a look at our championship leader, Matt Swain, in the 198 Rethink Racing machine with the flashes of gold on there. No one has set a lap time yet, but Matt Swain, great performance last time out at Sebring in the GT3s. Really stamped his authority on the competition in those early stages. A few times coming in. Looks like Magnus Riddervold has gone to the top of the timesheets at the moment on a 55.6. Is displayed straight away by Matt Swain. Also at the moment, Max Andrews onto his 2nd lap. Had that race 3 win at Navarra about a month ago, Reeve. And big take of the curb there. Wow. Looking pretty good so far, is he?
He is indeed, but exercising that suspension well, as you say. Lovely bit of rotation there. Goes as late as he can, really, on the brakes, and that car just dives into the corner.
Does indeed. Eric Mignon's had a good first lap. Is up into the top 10, the rookie. It's very good to see. Just staying with Max Andrews here to see if there's going to be a time come in that knocks the likes of Swain and Grossman and Riddervold off the top of the timesheets. That's a good start for the Norwegian. Magnus Riddervold up to P3 over the line. Andrews goes P6, so he's going to have some work to do here. I think a few drivers haven't actually headed out on circuit yet. I think we've got about 17 drivers out on circuit. Adam Brown's had a good lap, has gone up to P6. Let's try and catch someone who is out on a lap. Let's have a look at Tom Roberts as we get away from Scenic Camp. Now, should note, ladies and gentlemen, he's spent about 14 minutes on a DDMM iRacing broadcast, and already Mr. Reeve Taylor has managed to get his logo in the stream. If you squint just enough, you can see an RT Media badge on Tom Roberts' car. Tom looking pretty good here, though, Reeve. This is a steady lap. This should be his first timed lap.
Yep, let's see how he goes. Within the rest of this session, as you say. I've worked very quickly with this highly detailed, highly professional everything that's on his car. But yeah, running up through that hill before you start the lap, crucial part of the lap to actually nail, especially if you're in a bit of a qualifying stint to try and piece together a couple of laps. You've got to run through tailors. You've got to keep the momentum nice and high, though, in a car like this. Really wants to be on cam. You need those revs to take you up that hill to make sure you're carrying that speed into the start of the next lap.
So he's gone P7 at the moment on a first timed lap. This is the second timed lap for Tom Roberts. At the moment it's Swain from Grossman. Jack Eyre has had a good qualifying session, has put it P3. And then Riddervold, Sanders, Brown, Roberts. Let's also just try and get that to be a bit more useful in terms of information for you at home. Slijepcevic goes P4. So Axel Slijepcevic, winner of the first 2 races in the MX-5s this year. Pole sitter in Navarra, will most likely not start from pole position as things stand at the moment. Roberts over the line, goes P3. Good lap time there from Tom Roberts. Let's switch to Axel Slijepcevic, who is not going at full speed here by the looks of it. Has he had a problem in the first part of this next lap? No, I think he's just on his in lap, as it were, and comes to a stop. Who else has not completed their lap time yet? Let's go through and have a look at Mike Weddle. First time that we seen Michael Weddle on track this year. Has been a regular feature in previous seasons of the CLUB100 iRacing Championship. Another one of the Rethink Racing crew from the British Pro Kart Endurance Championship. And now it's going to be the first time I say this tonight because we've got quite a few of them in. Weddell should be useful round here. A Scotsman round Knockhill goes P16 with that first lap, Reeve.
Yeah, home advantage could be a major influence in this race, as you say. Or sorry, in this race weekend, rather. 16th at the moment. Second highest Scot, Adam Brown, currently leading the charge out the Scot.
Yes, indeed. It's been a tidy lap so far from Michael Weddell. Just less than 4 minutes to go in this session. Just looking at the other classes, John Adey is fastest of the intermediates at the moment, P21. James Fremont, P22. Fastest of the rookies at the moment is actually no, Ollie Walker. That's a heck of a qualifying from the driver of the 321. Has gone P7 in the early stages of this round. So that is a fantastic run from Oliver Mulvey Walker. Over the line goes Weddell. Does Weddell improve on P16? No, I think just stays there in the middle of the pack. That might be a bit of a tricky area to start the racing from. Ever the shrewd customer making sure that the Leffe livery gets some coverage. Here is Matt Hale on your screen. Hasn't completed a flying lap yet, has the 2:33 intermediate. But can the bright white G3 Pro powered by Leffe Belgian beer MX-5 go over the line up into the top 30? Goes 30th place there. With a 58.37, Reeve. What do you make of all these liveries? Oh, actually, I've remembered, you've not got trading paint set up. I was about to ask you what you make of all these liveries, and I don't think you can see them.
I don't, that is correct. So I have aptly, very quickly signed it to YouTube on my phone and just thought I'd have a quick gander and a quick scroll through. Oh, there's a bit of a spin there for Matt Hale. Manages to keep it pointing in vaguely the right direction, so should be able to carry on. Picks up a bit of gravel. Might be a bit of a knock to the confidence, but otherwise should be able to continue on.
See the problem
already ready for the next lap.
The problem there for Matt, this is the closest circuit we have this year to what is an oval, but that was the bit that wasn't very overly, and he had a problem through it. This is not going to be a quicker second lap. Who else is out there? David Whitehouse is still out there. This is where I'm going to press Control and R to see. Hang on, if this is going to work. Control and R. Let's see if his livery appears live on the feed. No, it doesn't. It goes back to the standard iRacing one. Oh, well, David. We'll try and make that work for next time out. Hello to Swifty Razor, who's cheering on Max Andrews, seeing if Max can have another round win here tonight. Lawrence Andrews is also in chat tonight for Max. So great to have you all involved. So I think it is just David who's yet to finish the two flying laps. Is 31st at the moment on a 57.9. Gotta say, really, I mean, it's to be expected. It is a shorter circuit, of course, but the top 20 at the moment, Reeve, covered by a second. That's fantastic. Yeah,
absolutely. We knew it was going to be close action this evening, and that is one of the things that, at least what I've seen recently, is Knockhill certainly does provide. Plenty to talk about heading into the racing. Obviously, very short lap. There might even be some, an opportunity for quite a bit of lap traffic, but that will just add more intrigue to the race coming up later on.
It will indeed. Thank you, drivers. You were able to extend out what I thought was going to be a very, very brief lone qualifying session, and we've only got 30 seconds to go before we can bring up the final result for this one. A reminder, it's 3 25-minute races here tonight at Knockhill, and you can get involved as well. This is the last point of the season where we will say this. If you get yourself on the grid for the Nürburgring and then run all the way through to the end of the season, you will get a full championship score. Remember, the prizes on offer, once again, for the winners of the Premier, Clubman and Intermediate classes at the end of the season. They get a free SP40 North or CLUB100 Experience race of their choosing, race day of their choosing, courtesy of CLUB100 in 2026. We had quite a few of the runners from last year's championship competing recently at Wilton Mill for those prizes. So head across to the simgrid.com. All the details are down below of how you can get involved. In the meantime, though, let's take you through the grid then for this first race of the evening. Matt Swain and Ronald Grossman on the front row of the grid. Tom Roberts, Jack Eyre on row 2. Axel Slijepcevic and Magnus Riddervold form up row 3. First of the rookies, brilliant qualifying from Oliver Walker alongside Sam Sanders on row 4. Adam Brown and Tom Saunders complete the top 10, and then it's Cam Watson and Max Andrews on row 6. On to row 7, not row 13. That tricked me up again. Murray Adams and Joao Castro on row 7. Mike Hart on his return to the series starts this one from row 8 alongside Michael Weddle. Andy Alston and Sam Spinale are on row 9, so Spinale takes the pole position in Belgian class tonight. Lawrence Vines and Sean Patterson row 10. John Adey and James Fremont the first of the intermediates row 11. Eric Mignon, great qualifying there, row 12 alongside Colin Ward. On to row 13 we go, if the button will allow me. Come on. Is it going to work? No, it's not going to work. Hang on. What did they say about a tradesman? Oh, that's because I'm pressing the wrong button. That is 100% on me. There we go. Peter Knight and Jack Mitchell-Lowe on row 13. Hassan Iqbal and Simon Delamere, row 14. Boylan, Whitehouse, Ellis, Hale, Cooper, Shawnee, Dimolo and Cook take us down to 36th place. I think we're about ready to go here. Let's get us on a nice shot there of the full grid. To the front of it as well, Matt Swain ready to go racing here. Championship leader has pole position for this one here at Knockhill. Should have the lights start to emerge in a few seconds time. Here we go then for round 3 of the CLUB100 iRacing Championship here at Knockhill. The revs will rise. We are racing. Good start for Matt Swain. Looking further down the order, it's all looking pretty clean at the moment as they run down towards the first couple of corners. It's not an easy first corner here at Knockhill. Are they all going to be able to make it through down the hill unscathed? Sam Spinale's had a good start to this race. Still Swain leading from Grossman up through the chicane now. This is where things will get interesting as they run through side by side there between Adam Brown and I believe that was Sam Sanders. I think Atty Cooper may have had a problem in the early stages of this race. Sean Patterson is on the attack as well. Well, there you go, Reeve. You've experienced your first CLUB100 iRacing starts. They're not for the light-hearted, are they?
They certainly aren't, but everyone pointing in the right direction, all looking pretty well behaved. Well done, everyone. It's not an easy lap to start here at Knockhill. 36 cars on the grid, especially. But everyone looks like kept nosebleed. Good start from everyone involved. No complaints there from my side.
Absolutely not. So Matt Swain leads this one at the end of lap 1 from Grossman, Roberts, Eyre, Slijepcevic, Riddervold, Mulvey Walker, Brown, Sanders, Saunders. That is testament to these drivers. I'm looking at the events log. We've only had one driver not complete the first lap, and I think that was Atty Cooper. Let's have a look and see what happened to Atty. Oh, just into the wall at the end of lap number 1. So that's why Atty has cut to pit lane and is not circulating at the moment. But every other driver, all 35 of them, still running out there here at Knockhill. Round the final hairpin then to complete lap number 2. We're expecting these races to be about 27 laps here tonight. So it's going to be the kind of race where you've just got to get yourself into a kind of rhythm, I feel, Reeve.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to make sure you're fully tuned into the circuit. That we're heading down now will catch you out, especially when that kind of fatigue sets in. You know, it's all well and good. You can do it in qualifying, do it early on in the race stints. One small mistake, and the car is basically wanting to depart from the tarmac at various points. It is a very undulating, very unforgiving track surface. You can see Matt Swain very much under pressure from Ronald Grossman there in P2. A little bit of gap down to Tom Roberts, who had a good start considering that looked to be more than 2 minutes ago. I saw pop up as a Discord notification. How do you start all of these cars for a second start?
Let's go. Sorry, Reeve. Let's go back down the order. I think there's been a problem for Sam Dimolo. Oh, contact with Simon Delamere. And one of the parachuted carrots was also involved as well. So Dimolo and Delamere out of contention for this one in these early stages. That is a real shame. Back with Swain and Grossman, though. You can see the drivers picking up the dirt there. I do think in this part of the course it's going to be really tricky to overtake. Well, saying that, Grossman is all over the back of Swain here. Grossman has had a bit of a quiet start to the season, really giving it a good go in the early stages here, Reeve, at Knockhill.
Yeah, absolutely. Very much keeping Swain under pressure at this point. Your top three looking like they are. In fact, I say top three. It's your top five here that are controlling things quite nicely up towards Taylor's one smaller corner that you don't want to kick the back end out on too much, but you want to keep those revs high. A really tricky corner to find that balance on before we rise up the hill once more. Yeah, all looking very comfortable outside the front row.
Let's look a bit further down the order then. This is the battle all around 19th place, as it's getting a bit close out there with Colin Ward in the centre of things. But right now, there's been some further offs. I think Hassan Iqbal might have had a problem out there, so let's have a look what happened to Hassan. Oh, we've seen quite a few of these through free practice, and unfortunately for Hassan, just caught out there off the rebound, off the curb. Re-enters quite nicely there, just keeps his car over to driver's right, doesn't cause any further issue, but that moment almost as you hop over the far side of the chicane, Reeve, that's a very easy mistake to make, is it not?
Yeah, absolutely. The track lures you into a false sense of security, and before you know it, you're all over the gravel here as we have a look. And here we go. Here's Ronald Grossman having a look, just a brief glance down the inside before you head into the tougher step. But Matt Swain positioned the car nicely down the downward elevation.
Just to notice as well, it was John Adey, the parachuting carrot, involved in the incident with Simon Delamere. I think there have also been problems for Sean Patterson. Oh, as was that Tom Roberts off in the background. We'll come back to that. We'll be able to get a replay of it. This was the moment with Sean Patterson down the inside. Oh, he's going to get it round. Oh, yeah, he's just going to think that was Peter Knight that he found on the inside of the corner there. Nowhere for Sean to go. Waits patiently, rejoins in due course. But I think we saw Tom Roberts having a moment out of the chicane. Oh, yeah, back end steps out into the gravel. Can he keep it pointing in the right direction on this replay? Yes, that's actually quite well recovered there by Tom, I thought, Reeve. I think he only lost one position.
Yeah, very lucky indeed. You thought how much was African in the right direction on the gravel. So remarkable that he's able to continue on. Now we see Matt Swain heading over. How much Ronald is taking out that sausage gun. It's a true testament to those fans' suspension from those undulations on the railway straight once more.
Is indeed. Just watching here, going in towards the last corner. This one keeps having these occasional little looks. And,
on to the start finish straight.
Yep. Oh, that's a better volume for you, mate. Discord's doing Discord things here tonight.
Yeah, I was alerted to that, and I've been trying to fix it in the background. I'm not quite sure if it's something I've done that's mended it, if it's mended itself, or who knows.
If you go in, this is going to be a troubleshooting live on air, folks. Go into voice and video and input profile. Just put it to studio, pure audio. No Discord AI nonsense trying to throttle you.
Oh, I'm eating my Doritos, Andrew. I'm eating my Doritos on stream.
We're already on lap 8 of this one. 7 minutes gone, 18 to go. Good evening to Steve Hicks, who's resting at the shoulder. Well, I'd say he's resting at the shoulder. He told me it was that. What were you saying earlier? The swimming feels okay, and the push-ups don't hurt as much as they used to, but your collarbone's still in several pieces. Please take care of yourself, mate. So down the pit straight then go Matt Swain and Ronald Grossman, pulling away now from Magnus Riddervold. Because these are 25-minute races, folks, there will be no pit stops in these ones. Here's James Fairmont on the screens, or was, before exciting mode took us away and up the road to the likes of Joao Castro in the middle of this. So this is the battle, was it Murray Adams P10 and backwards. So Murray Adams in the Paragon-sponsored machine. Hello to all of the British Pro Kart Endurance Championship fraternity. I know there's been some big news from some big names in that championship who have decided at the end of this season to take a step back. So particularly to the likes of Jess Alexander and Sam Spinell as well out on circuit tonight. Just a hat tip from this comms box for some marvellous BPEC racing careers. That's a move down the inside of the background. That's Joao Castro having a go at, Joao Castro receiving a bit of an attack from Michael Weddle. That just about held off. Oh, now, has there been a problem for Mike Hart? I think there has been. A rather long... that's what happened to Mike. That was a very strange incident. Into the wall, but front right damaged, so no wonder that Mike has jumped to the pit lane with that one. Yeah, that wasn't the hardest of hits into the wall, but seems to have done quite a bit of damage, Reeve.
It does. Hopefully next few races open up a few more opportunities further on this evening. We're now by the looks of things looking on to the start-finish straight. One nice thing about iRacing compared to Assetto is that in Assetto they're all 2D and they look at the camera ominously. Very, very often.
Yeah, there's quite a few things going on at the moment. We saw Colin Ward having an incident there as well. This is what happened to Colin a little bit further up. He's just lost steering. I think he's had a preceding incident and then hit the same wall that Mike Hart's hit. So he's out of this race. I say we've already seen that one. I don't need to see it again for Colin's saving his blushes. Oh, Andy Alston taking a good bit of an alternative line there down the hill. But gets back on track. I have realised, Reeve, I'm going to have to turn the audio of the cars down. They are decidedly louder than they were in free practice, them all being out on track at the same time. Looking as well, drivers are not too far away from now getting to the point where we're going to see something a little bit different. The leaders, I reckon this lap are going to start catching lapped traffic, or maybe the lap after it. But we've not even reached the halfway stage. It's a short lap here at Knockhill, probably the shortest lap that we'll have this season. Leaders running round in 55 seconds. That was 0 minutes 55 seconds, not 1 minute and 55 seconds, folks. So there is going to be, albeit they're all in the same class, they're all in the same machinery, there is going to be an element of traffic management here tonight for those who want to win.
Yeah, absolutely a major part of racing here at Knockhill. Only combined with the fact that obviously this is, as I say, quite a tight, twisty, narrow circuit in certain parts. Adds that extra exciting element to your lap traffic negotiation, as we've seen that wherever so slightly next it failures as that lap traffic up in front now, and this is where the likes of Ronald or Magnus Grunewald or Jacka might be able to catch a little bit of time, but we see that lap traffic very courteously and considerately getting out of the way there. Allow two front runners to continue on.
Yeah, some good driving there. That's what the drivers were told. Be predictable, particularly on the straights. Look to manage those leaders coming through. Some of the drivers may even go at this rate 2 laps off the overall lead. There's been some more incidents. We'll have a quick look at them. I think Sean Patterson has had a moment out there. Oh, contact with Mike Hart. So Mike Hart trying to recover back through. I think Mike's probably just going to pull over here because I can note that Mike Hart. Oh no, he's going to carry on. So that'll be one that on the review log will at least be looked by the race officials as to what's happened there. I think Sam Spinell may have had a problem as well. Oh, just getting a bit loose and into the gravel. Will return to the circuit and carry on his merry way. But it is a track in a way, Reeve. How would you, if you were out on circuit, how would you approach this in terms of percentage of send?
That's an interesting one, because owing to my abilities, I probably shouldn't approach it, because it is a very technical circuit. Oh, we have a little bit of a spin there, getting a good pack of cars now beginning to form up. We'll be running down through McIntyre's and into the chicane. All 4 cars now pointing in the right direction. Getting a little bit of chaotic here as we see Tom Roberts is the driver on board with putting a bit of pressure now on P4 Jacka just in front. Yeah, it's a track that I don't think your first couple laps you want to send too hard. But as I alluded to before, your overtaking opportunities aren't very prominent here, so you are going to be quite brave at certain points of racing.
Indeed. As I say, it's going to be a busy night out there on track. Let's have another look at what happened to Murray Adams there a few moments ago. So this was side by side with Cam Watson. Oh, tipped round. Murray catches that quite nicely on the grass. Will rejoin. Keep out the way pretty much of those behind. But yeah, 2 into 1, not going at that point of things. Tom Roberts once again having a good go here at one of the most established names in the championship in Sam Sanders. João Castro. João's had a really solid start to the season, in my opinion, Reeve. Running up in the top 6 at the moment in terms of the points. Top 10 overall in the standings. Does a lot of racing in owner karting, a lot of racing at PF International as part of a regular at Trent Valley Kart Club meetings. That scrap going on there. In fact, we'll come away from exciting mode. Keep with this battle between Castro and Weddell, because it's been going on for a good few laps. Weddell trying to draw alongside. The driver flying the flag for Brazil. This could get a little bit tight, Reeve, into turn 1.
It could indeed. This is an example of that bravery that I mentioned. Who goes later on the brakes? Just a simple case of that, where you hang yourself around the outside for the left-handed part of turn 1. Castro defending well, though, not phased by the pressure from Weddell as we now drop through chicane in the next few moments. I just can't believe just how brave these drivers are being with that sausage curve. As I say, the leagues I've been commentating on the past few weeks, Weddell has a look on through and ends up jumping ahead of Castro to take 10th on the road. Taking those sausage curves and anything else in these cars I've seen, at least you're pointing on your roof.
Indeed. So we've got through 15 minutes this first race of the night. 10 more minutes to go in this one. Biggest mover in the race at the moment. Strangely, Sam Dimlow. I say strangely because, of course, we've seen Sam have some problems out there in this race. I'm going to try and find a driver who I don't think's had a problem. Jack Mitchell-Lowe is up 8 spots so far in this race. And this is our driver who, of course, races similar kind of machinery in real life. So very intrigued to see how Jack gets on tonight. Currently running in the mid 56s in terms of lap times. Very good indeed. It's just got Peter Knight directly behind. And all the other drivers that we've been mentioning, your likes of Weddell, Spinell, they're all up a good number of positions in the first half of this race. It's all gone a bit quiet on the last lap or so. Here's Matt Swain. Now starting to catch up on some more back markers. Matt Hale and Asan Iqbal and Matthew Shawnee, I think, are the next drivers to go off the lead lap.
Mentioning a hello.
Yep,
Sorry.
Go for it, Reeve.
I was going to say hello to Stephen Hicks, who's watching along, saying that the track is going to resemble a sandpit towards the end of this race. And I think that's a fair assessment there. I mean, that's probably not an untracked windscreen in the land at this phase of the race. We see Matt Swain, and a contract there potentially. Anyway, that kicks out. But through the final gutter potatoes, we now pull up the start finish straight. Ronald Grossman takes your race lead. And off behind in front. That is a big move in this race as Matt Swain, the leader, who was looking relatively comfortable at least from the start, now finds themselves running down in P2.
Let's have another look at that one again then. So that was with just trying to get past Matt Hale. Oh, just got a bit eager on the gas. I don't think there was much that Matt Hale did wrong there. And yeah, that gave Grossman the opportunity to get through and take the lead of this race. What happened to Max Andrews? I think I've found it, folks. What happened to Max? This was back on lap 7. That is what happened to Max Andrews and Adam Brown. Apologies, we missed that one. That was back on lap 7 that those two got together. I've got a feel for Adam Brown. Again, in the MX-5s, he's not having too much luck out there at this stage of the season. So, we are 20 laps down. We've got 18 minutes pretty much completed so far in this race. Grossman still leads from Swain after that change about a lap or so ago. Ridevold having a really good run at the moment in third. key thing to remember as well, folks, if this is your first time joining us on this broadcast, the grid for race number 2 is set by the result of race number 1. So for the longevity through the night, it is really important that drivers keep out of trouble here tonight. We saw his timed qualifying effort come through, but we've not actually seen him on stream yet. Oliver Mulvey-Walker, the rookie, having a superb run here. This is a vast improvement, Reeve, from the results that we saw for Ollie in the I don't think Ollie raced in the GT3s at Sebring. I think we have got some of our rookies who are just taking on the MX-5s this year. But this is a big step forward for Oliver Mulvey-Walker, and showing as well, with this kind of pace at the moment, in the low 56s, running 8th on circuit, has only lost 1 place from where he started this race, showing that that time qualifying performance was no fluke.
Absolutely, I think it's really, really impressive to see some of our drivers here who maybe didn't shine in the first couple of rounds, now showing us what to do here at KNOCKHILL, as we can see an but yeah, great to see what some of our drivers can do. It's all up in the air at the moment. It's not all talking about championship points. So we're going to see plenty of change in that roster that we've got, in that timing tower that we've got of driving, so to speak. And Ollie Walker is going to be a big mover in this one, I suspect, based off this evening's performance so far.
Indeed. There was a car there with a significantly damaged front end. I'm just trying to work out who that is out on track. So we pull up the right car on screen. No, that was the wrong way. There it is. Oh, it's Eric Mignon. Oh, now Eric's had a problem there. Eric, I think, is still... no, it's not on the lead lap anymore. But running round with no front end. I don't know if that's intentional, because of course the drivers only have the 1 fast repair. So if you have the fast repair used in the early stages of this race and then you have a significant incident later on, sometimes it's just better to run around in a slightly, well, not factory spec, shall we say. So yeah, Eric's had a problem there. We'll try and find if Eric had an off earlier in this race that would explain what has happened here. It might have been all the way back on lap number 2. This was Eric. Well, the front end of the car was attached there. That was with Kira Boylan early on in this race. So I think there must have been a subsequent incident for Eric, because the front bumper was still attached during that phase of the race. As I think Simon Delamere might have had a problem as well. I will get that logo updated for next time, folks. That was just Simon getting out of the way of the leaders, so that's not a proper crash. We don't need to be having a further look at that. Back with the race leaders, though, closing up here. Ronald Grossman with Matt Swain right behind. I do kind of like this. This wasn't necessarily the intention, Reeve, when we selected this circuit as the admin team for the MX-5s. But it's producing a bit of a different style of racing here tonight with all of this traffic management that they're having to... Do you know what it's feeling like? It's feeling like a BUKC race from about 8 years ago, before the switch from TKM to Rotax. There's an incident behind. Who was that? Was that Matthew Shawnee and Daniel Cook? Yes, it was. Let's have another look at that again. That's kind of the end of it. Oh my goodness me. Magnus Riddervold, you are an absolute hero. Magnus Riddervold nearly got involved in that and was going to be out of 3rd place, but keeps himself running. Daniel Cook now in a spot of bother, gets a bit of a tag from behind in the shape of Axel Slijepcevic. This is going to become I'd say for the drivers, I think at the moment they're all kind of feeling it the hard way, aren't they? That they're probably all driving at about 95% plus. And as I say, this is what you had to do before Rotax era and before, you know, clutches and tag start and all of this business. You had to drive probably at about 92% in an old TKM in a BUKC race, because if you pushed it too hard, you would inevitably have a crash or a problem like Matt Swain's just done there out of the final corner. You had to survive out in a BUKC 25-minute race back in 2015. And to me, old BUKC grandpa that I am, that's what this race is feeling like right now.
certainly I can see some similarities. I mean, these little MX-5s, you do have to push them. If you're not pushing them, you're not really racing. You're kind of travelling along at road speeds. So you really do have to push along. And as you say, this element of traffic management we've seen by just the sheer virtue of having so many cars here at Knockhill, it's a fascinating development in this championship. It's a little bit unique in that sense.
Yeah, it won't be something that we see in every single one of the events through this season. Could be quite a big point or defining point across the course of this year. If you do want to get involved, head to the link down below, simgrid.com. We've moved 2 drivers who entered but haven't paid. Wow, we've made them reserves now. It's taken them long enough to try and get a payment in. So there's 3 places open for the rest of the season. As you say, if you get on the grid for round 4 and through the rest of the season, you can get a full championship score. Good evening to Craig Brown. Hello from the sick bucket. He's not able to be with us tonight. Oh dear, Craig. Sorry to hear that you're not feeling very well. Hope we can see you on the grid for next time out of the Nürburgring. Public service announcement, by the way, for the Nürburgring. We are considering changing from the GP track to the BES, the WEC layout, the one with the nicer, apparently, final chicane. So if you are watching this back and you weren't listening in Driver's Briefing earlier, do get your votes in on the Discord, drivers, in the discussion area, or if you weren't here, of course, you wouldn't have heard it in the Driver's Briefing. We'll make the decision next Tuesday to give you a week's notice as to which layout that we're running. But at the moment, it's a heavy leaning towards the endurance format. I just saw a white flag because it's the last lap of the race. We are looking at 27 laps for this one. Let's go to the front of the field because Ronald Grossman is about to win his first race of the year. A very well managed race. It kept Matt Swain under a lot of pressure throughout, pounced when there was that little problem between Swain and Hale, and takes the first 80-point haul of the evening. Swain P2, Magnus Ridevold comes across the line P3 ahead of Axel Slijepcevic and Sam Sanders and Axel Slijepcevic. It will be 6th place for Jack Eyre. I do think there's been a problem on the last lap for Tom Roberts. What has happened here to Tom Roberts on the last lap? This was towards the final corner. It was with Axel Slijepcevic. Slijepcevic has gone for a big dive there. They've both gone for the early apex, and round has gone Tom Roberts. Lost out on a position there. Oh, that's a difficult one to call from that angle. Adam Brown as well has had a problem on the last lap, so I think there's been some big sends on the last lap of this race. This one, this was more just a bit of a stack up. Oh, the turnaround, he's got turnaround. Joao Castro there, touching the rear axle of the number 88 and causing that spin. Although thankfully I don't think Adam has lost too many positions. Well, with all of that, we'll very, very quickly show you the results from race number 1. We'll clear all of that stuff off of the screen. I'll show that again. Sorry, I pressed the wrong button. There we go. That's 13th place. We don't want to be looking at that. Let's go for P1. There we go. Ronald Grossman wins by 0.6 of a second ahead of Matt Swain, Magnus Ridevold, Sam Sanders and Axel Slijepcevic all in the top 5. Eyre, Mulvey Walker, brilliant drive from Oliver Mulvey Walker, P7. Roberts, Weddell, Spinell in the top 10. Watson, Adams, Andrews, Alston, Castro in the top 15. It was then running down to the middle part of the order. Lawrence, Brown and Knight. P19, Mitchell Lowe, Fremont, Saunders and Whitehouse all finished on the lead lap. Dimelo, Patterson, Iqbal takes us down to 25th. And Shawnee, Hale, Mignon, Boylan, Cook down to 30th. Difficult start for Mike Hart, P31 ahead of John Adey, Colin Ward, Simon Delamere, Tim Ellis and Athena Cooper. Right, that off the screen because we're already into race number 2. It's the exact same order that we've just read out. There is Ronald Grossman, your pole sitter. Away we go then for race number 2. Once again, it is 25 minutes. I thought everything had just crashed there. It hasn't. It's fine. As down towards turn 1 we do go. All looking pretty good at the moment for the race leaders. Further down through the field, Max Andrews looking to gain positions there. Murray Adams just getting a little bit of a nerve to the outside with Cam Watson. That's all over P10 as they run up through the chicane for the first time. Looks like Tom Roberts has had a problem. Lawrence Vines has had a crash in the early stages of this race as well. What happened with Lawrence Vines? Now, did Lawrence jump start and then stop, and it's logged it as I should say, as a crash? No, not quite sure what's happening on there and why that's been described as a crash. It looks absolutely fine to me. Mike Hart's had a problem. This is through the chicane. Oh, he's just going to run a little bit wide. Keep it in the straight line. Back on circuit. Absolutely fine. No problems there for Mike. There have been further issues though. I think Kira Boylan may have got caught out further around the lap. Oh, contact there with Colin Ward. So Colin Ward and Kira Boylan into the gravel trap. Significant damage on the front of Colin Ward's car there. Athena Cooper had an incident on lap 1 down at the bottom of the hill. Has he had an issue here into... Oh, just runs into Tom Roberts. Oh. So Tom Roberts, see, that may have been a bit of a problem with moving under braking there. But Tom Roberts, having started from pit lane, has jumped to pit lane now. So more drivers getting in trouble on the first lap, it would seem. Oliver Mulvey-Walker. Well, Oliver, I think they've worked out that you're a dab hand in the MX-5s now, and now they're playing a bit rougher with you out there. So, well, we're already on to lap 3, Reeve. It's been quite a busy opening to this race, but still with Grossman in the lead of it from Riddervold, because where has Matt Swain gone? Matt Swain down to P6, so it's all getting a little bit jumbled up out there.
Yeah, absolutely. A little bit eclectic out there at the moment. I was really looking forward to that. Front row back, but in reverse, in effect. Now start versus Swain. I should say Swain having a couple of issues. Heading through the chicane section onto the railway straight in just a moment. Hail now of things, and everyone still in a nice long succession before we head into the end of the lap moment.
More problems out there. I think, well, let's go through them one by one if we can. Jack Eyre might have had a little bit of a moment off the road. Oh, yeah, running in with Sam Spinell there. So that was the cause of that one. I think there may also have been an issue with Adam Brown, although I think it actually might be more internet related, because I'm not seeing anything on our screen suggesting that Adam Brown has crashed or had an off-track. So there we go with that one. So getting back into the rhythm of this one now. Just to go through your leaders in terms of the classes. Grossman, of course, leading in the club and class, leading this race. Sam Sanders starting to use a bit of his experience, perhaps, with these categories. Able to pick his way up through the order. Is now running P2 on the road, leader of the Premiers. Peter Knight, 15th on the road at the moment, is the lead rookie, and then Sam Dimlow, the first of the intermediates. As I say, don't be surprised if some of those rookies get moved up to being intermediates after tonight. There's going to be a big review of all the data and how people are performing relative to each other. The good news for rookies moving up to intermediates, yes, it may mean they're... Oh, Grossman's had a problem. Oh, Grossman had a major moment there coming out of the chicane, and it gives Sam Sanders the race lead. Let's have a look at that again. Talk us through it, Reeve.
Yeah, we just saw Grossman trying to carry as much speed as possible. An exit of chicane. At the front end of the car, onto the gravel he goes, is able to just about collect it, but loses time. And in that time, through goes Sanders, Stepchevich and Riddervold. On to P4 for Grossman there. One small error early on in this race could have cost him big time.
And look at this as well. 3 drivers all going over to second place. Slijepcevic on the inside there of Grossman. Riddervold is now up into P2. Slijepcevic there in the Freem UK car. As wide goes Riddervold, but just about gets away with that over the curb as well. Some big sends coming in here, but potentially they are all starting to run away from Sam Sanders out there. But at the moment, it is, well, for the first time this season, Reeve, it's a Premier 1-2 with Sanders and Slijepcevic at the front of the field.
Yeah, very nice indeed. Sam Sanders kept the nose clean during that earlier incident there involving Grossman, and is now able to continue on his Sam Sanders. Nice little gap built up to Stepsvich as he runs down the Diffus dip, just kissing that apex nicely, not trying to be too brave there, where we see he can end up on the infield. You don't play cars right through McIntyre's and the chicane up next. Ride that first sausage curb, pretty much just cut over the next one after that, and then nailed perfectly for Sam Sanders there, able to head on through on the railway straight. It's a little clean run there for our race leader.
Indeed. Who else? I think we've got some more incidents to look through. Oliver Mulvey-Walker, I think, has had a problem. This was on lap number 6, side by side with Sam Spinell. And oh yeah, 2 drivers going for the same piece of road. Oh, getting locked together as well. That's quite a strange one. Yeah, Sam desperately trying to reverse there out of Oliver's car. Hassan Iqbal has a problem in the background as well. So that is a really weird one. That's a bit of a sim racing thing. There's all sorts going on in this clip. We saw David Whitehouse also. This was him, I think, just trying to avoid the incidents with Hassan Iqbal. Oh, not quite aware of what's going on behind him. There's been a problem for Murray Adams. Murray Adams is showing as having crashed on our events log. What's happened here? Into the final corner. Oh, tries to thread the needle between himself, Joao Castro, and Tom Saunders. And it ends up with Saunders and Adams both spinning out there. And I think Jack Mitchell-Lowe has had a problem as well. Jack Mitchell-Lowe, oh, it's going to be the classic. It's off the chicane, spearing to driver's right, buff in the wall, and it's going to be a cut to the pit lane as well. So, again, quite a few drivers out there making errors, making mistakes. 6 drivers already off the lead lap in this one. And again, Reeve, we're not too far away from that stage of the race where we will start seeing those who haven't had problems or have had maybe smaller problems starting to go off the lead lap.
Absolutely, and I think those smaller problems that drivers are facing, it is, especially here at Knockhill, it's so easy to do in these MX-5s. As we mentioned, it's tricky, it's undulating. These cars, I mean, they're fantastic. I don't say this as if they're a bad race. No. Don't offend any MX-5 owners, you are one, Andrew.
Yeah, I am indeed.
As well. Fantastic little cars. They are short wheelbase, and they are unforgiving in that sense. That, you know, they will spit you off out of the chicane if you haven't quite nailed that run through the chicane, as we saw for a few drivers now as we're on board with Sam Sanders. Not quite the pressure of Stepsvich. Stepsvich a little bit more occupied by Ronald Grossman as we run down to the aforementioned chicane once more. Both drivers pretty much on 2 wheels at that point to ride over the sausage curb. Riddervold just in the background there as well. So for our top 4, I should say, controlling things. We might start to see some lap traffic in just a moment. Let's see how this lead begins to shape up with that lap traffic. In the previous race, you could argue that that lead battle was settled by lap traffic in the end. Let's see how it plays out in the race.
Just looking further down the order, some drivers having some good runs out there. Hopefully we don't curse them by having a quick look at them. Sam Dimolo out there has gained 11 places so far in this race. Is up to P12 as the lead intermediate at the moment with that kind of greenish roll cage. We don't particularly stipulate what shade of green it has to be, as long as it's green, although it's looking a bit more yellow in this sun, but we'll gloss over that quite literally. Matthew Shawnee as well, that's a green roll cage. Has gained 12 positions in this race. Mike Hart's having a good one as well in the Pink Panther. First race night of this season for Mike Hart, who can trace his BUKC days back to, well, I'm going to put it this way. There's a significant number of the Club 100 cadets who weren't alive when Mike Hart used to race in the BUKC for Birmingham back in the day. Apologies for the little technical glitches there. I think it might be the internet at DDMM HQ, but we'll gloss over that.
I was panicking that it was my internet.
No, I think it's mine. I think it's mine. Anyway, 10 minutes already gone in this race then. Let's go for exciting. Let's see what SDK is going to throw at us. It's going to throw it as a battle with James Fremont. No, don't leave that. That was looking pretty good. James Fremont versus Lawrence Vines here. This is for 18th place. First appearance of the season for James. James has been doing some of the Motorsport UK esports racing in, I want to say, the Porsche Cup cars, which is why James wasn't able to be with us for the first 2 rounds of the season, but has continued doing his great cinematography for the series. So do give fatphoto.com, and that's fat with a PH.
Of course.
Fatphoto.com on Instagram, a follow to check out all the photos that come out after these race events, and all of the photos that you see as part of the thumbnails and things like that for our broadcasts here on the DDMM YouTube channel. If you're new to the channel and you're enjoying the show, do make sure, if you don't mind, of clicking that subscribe button. A great number of people do so last time out. We're trying to get up to 1,000 subscribers across the course of this season. But that developing battle with Lawrence Vines we'll come back to. Meanwhile, back with... Let's go back with our race leaders, because look at this. Slijepcevic and Sanders have closed in now. Grossman and Slijepcevic, I should say, have both closed in on Sanders, and Sanders is now going to have to start dealing with the traffic. Now, the good thing this time around, Reeve, is everybody's up to speed with this track now, so that the field spread isn't quite as bad as race number 1. So I seem to remember that by the time we got to lap 10, Slijepcevic is down the inside of Sanders. This is for the race lead, and Slijepcevic is going to go through, but as soon as we say that, Grossman's down the inside. There's a little bit of a touch between the two of them. In comes Sanders. Ridevold's there as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One of the back markers just pulls the driver's right, quite sensibly, because the top 5 are all running towards the last corner here on lap 14. Slijepcevic down the inside to take the race lead. What a piece of racing here at Knockhill. It may be tight, it may be a bit twisty in places, Reeve Taylor, but these top drivers, this is why we say that in this championship we like the spread of different talent levels, but some of the best UK sim racers in the country are here in this championship because of these kind of situations. 5 drivers, all at the top of their game, all still in this race due to their talents, but it's Axel Slijepcevic who is now at the head of it.
Yeah, that was brilliant stuff. If it were possible, I'd love to see a replay, but I don't want to, because I have a feeling we're going to see a bit more coming up in just a few moments. But you've just got that sense that Slijepcevic smelled blood as soon as Sanders looked out on the chicane exit. And then Grossman said, well, don't worry, Slijepcevic, I'm here as well. As we see now, it's Axel in the lead of this race. Sanders in all of that track car managed to maintain P2. Grossman just behind back. Ever so slightly for him there, but he's still a pretty comfortable P3. Swain just behind, he's on a bit of a redemption, and Swain has that pressure. Magnus Ridevold behind. It's Slijepcevic then defending from Sanders as we head into that first corner. Grossman runs down the Duffer Stip as well, bringing back Swain and Ridevold into the mix here. A little bit tamer on that previous lap in comparison to the one just before, but Slijepcevic still has all that work to do. Has to ride over the sausage curve once more. No one thing to go too brave and cut across that gravel. That cost Sanders big time last time around. Top 5 then looking pretty comfortable as we head onto the railway straight once more. We're on board with Grossman at the moment.
We will have another look at that overtake, or the start of it. This was a little bit of the run down towards, well, this was down towards the final hairpin. Sanders on the outside, Slijepcevic down the inside. I actually wonder, can we go a little bit earlier? Because that's where it got really spicy. This was it. So Sanders just running out wide there. Down the inside went, this was the reverse angle of it. This was the moment. Look how close that is. Slijepcevic just about able to hold it on the outside. Sensational stuff from our race leaders. That was properly good. So, 15 minutes of this race gone. 10 more minutes to go. There will be a 10-minute break between races 2 and 3, just to give the drivers a bit of a breather before we go back into action again here at Knockhill. And this has been a properly entertaining race evening so far here. Thank you very much for joining us here this evening. George Lawrence asked, no Nordschleifer? George, do you honestly think I would sign that off and the potential judicial nightmares that a race on the Nordschleifer would be?
George is just in Nordschleife mode. We're booked to go on for a week in April. And ever since then, he's just done.
I would love to, George. Jokes aside, it is an aspiration. We are thinking, starting to plan as well, with a wider admin core of keeping racing in the Club 100 sim racing community going all year round. The last few years is kind of typified of, like, we've had these 10, 11 round championships through the winter, through the autumn, the winter into the early spring. And then apart from 1 year when we ran the BUKC iRacing trophy, it's then all gone a little bit quiet until we've got to August. And I was flicking through the different layouts and the different possibilities that you could have. You could have a whole Nürburgring-based championship with 7 different formats that culminates with the Nordschleife, if you were crazy enough to do it. So if you are watching, if you're a driver watching this back later on, do send your ideas. We will listen to any ideas. If we can fill the grid to do it, we'll race it. We'll try and keep the community going on. It won't be for the big prizes, of course. It won't be for, chances to get some drive time out of JV. I think we've got enough out of it for this year. But no, we want to keep this community going. We want to keep this community growing as well. 12 months around. I might want to race some stuff as well and put the microphone down and get out on circuit and take part in some stuff every now and then. This top 5 are putting on a bit of a clinic at the moment. Reeve, what have you thought of it?
Yeah, it's looked really calm and composed and controlled well, it must be said, from our top 5. Despite how close they are running. As you mentioned, Andrew, compared to race 1, not quite as much lap traffic. These guys were able to just get into a bit of rhythm, push on quite nicely. It all looks very controlled, very hunky-dory from our top end here.
It does indeed. Let's go to exciting mode again. Let's see what it throws up for. Oh, it's just going to keep us on the race leaders at the moment. We have gone through a bit of TV mixed as it is right now. And
just to say, Andrew, just because you might be looking at driving in the cars, like down. Let's get an in-car view. Why don't we?
Oh yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's go for the view from the back of this field. You've got Magnus Riddervold here. This is the view. Oh, actually, no, we don't like the cockpit because that's a little bit too high. That's the view that we like in the gyro. Let's go a little bit further up the order to Matt's way. This is what the view looks like going. Talk us through a lap, Reeve, around this circuit.
So up first, it's your doofus dip, which doesn't look that aggressive on camera, but just like any elevation change on the circuit, it's pretty aggressive. If you'd like some Matt Swain in the car here, that just kicked up your head through McIntyre's, and then here comes the big chicane. The pain point of anywhere on this circuit this evening, it all comes in some quick succession here at KNOCKHILL. It's one of those British enigmas where it's a small track, but it's also really fast at the same time. Head round the railway, not so straight. You climb the elevation rise once more into Taylor's. Nicely done by Matt Swain there. You see he gets a little bit compressed for our front runners, including Slijepcevic here through Taylor's we go. Swain catches up with a bit of oversteer, does creep in, so he loses time as he tries to maintain that momentum to get ready to start the next lap of this race. Fantastic circuit here at KNOCKHILL.
And I think we've had a change for the lead. Let's have a look at it then. That's not it. That was a few moments ago. Sorry, I will get this button clicked right eventually. This was it. So down towards the first few corners. Soswell TV Mix has also gone on to. Let's have a 4th or 5th attempt at that one. I want to have a proper look at that. There we go. So this was the move. It was Sanders on Slijepcevic. Fairly conventional one down the inside into Duffer's Dip. That gives the man formerly of the University of East Anglia the race lead, but it's changing again up at the front as it looks like Slijepcevic has taken back the advantage through the final corner. Has indeed. So Slijepcevic back to P1. Grossman not too far behind there as well in third place. Less than 5 minutes of this race to go, but the traffic is going to start coming into play more and more now. The first few cars that they've had in this race to go off the lead lap have been one here, one there, but they're now going to start catching up to other battles, Reeve. I think the next drivers up the road are Simon Delamere and David Whitehouse. David Whitehouse just about stayed on the lead lap last time around, but this could get quite interesting now as the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th place drivers are all descending now on the rear axle of Simon Delamere. Drivers were told tonight, keep your relatives on. It's going to be a busy one out there on track as Sam Sanders tries to get alongside. Slijepcevic wasn't particularly quick through the final corner there. Hello to Wendy, who has subscribed. Lando's spraying the champagne. I was about to say Lando hasn't sprayed the champagne in a while, but that would be completely rubbish because he's been doing this a lot this year. On our little screen with our little sub tracker, all the way back from 2020. Good to see that little graphic in action. But Slijepcevic in. There's been a change for second place. Grossman's got through. Let's actually have a look at how Grossman got through in a moment before we wait. Wow. Simon Delamere trying to get out of the way there, doing all he can to make sure that he doesn't get into or too involved with the race leaders. Let's have a look at how Grossman got through past Sam Sanders. Don't tell me this was an around the outside move into Duffer's Dip. There's an overlap there still before they get towards the braking zone of Duffer's Dip. In fact, no, he's got it done before. I think Sam Sanders just pulled out of that one just in case. Back at the front, looks like Matt Swain's got through past Sam Sanders for P3. Michael Weddle's having a good run as well as past Max Andrews for P6. This has been a frenetic race night so far here at Knockhill. It's still not done, Reeve Taylor. I think we've got maybe 2 more laps of this one to go. Actually, no more. See, the 55 seconds keeps catching me out. We've probably got more like 3 laps to go. Can Slijepcevic hold on?
That is very much in the air at the moment. Grossman doing all that he can to keep Slijepcevic under that pressure. You mentioned that outside run through Duffer's Dip. It can be done. If you head round the outside, it gives you a nice little cut through the inside for the exit phase of the corner, as well as we can see there is Slijepcevic feeling that pressure as we head up on through Taylor's once more. Our race leader has put up with almighty pressure this evening, hasn't he? Just look at how many cars are occupying his screens, folks, as we head to the next lap. Yet against Slijepcevic, a big name in the world of 100. Of course, Ronald Grossman, though, very much hunting him down as we head into the next lap.
So I think we'll get 2 more in this one at least. Slijepcevic from Grossman, Sanders, Swain, Ridderbolz. This, I think, has been race of the year so far. 3 rounds into the Club 100 iRacing Championship. There have been issues out there as well. Eric Mignon has had an incident. Just looking here to see what happened to Eric. I don't know what's going to happen here. Oh, just a little bit of a clash there with Oliver Mulvey-Walker. Wasn't that serious an incident in the end. Well, yeah, we'll go back to the live pictures. I don't think there've been any other significant moments, but there could be a significant moment here because Slijepcevic is trying to get off the main racing line. Here comes Grossman. Has Grossman got a run here as they go on to the final lap? Lap number 27 to go around the outside. Grossman is going to have a think about it as they come down through Duffer's Dip. This is a great drive by all 5 of these top quality pilots here in the MX-5s. Through towards the chicane they go. Slijepcevic still holding the advantage. Grossman runs out wide. That's too much speed. That's going to allow the likes of Sanders and Swain and potentially Ridder. They've all gone through. So Grossman's chances of winning this race are all but gone, really. Down to 5th place. Is there going to be a big send from Sam Sanders into the last corner of this race, who is going to take the points in P2? Slijepcevic defends to the inside. That's brilliantly driven by Axel Slijepcevic. There's nothing Sam Sanders can do off of the final corner. Slijepcevic is going to take his 3rd race win of the year, and that gets him back on track in the championship. He likes it here in the MX-5s. Slijepcevic takes it from Sanders, from Swain, Riddervold and Grossman. What a brilliant race there, Reeve. It was a little bit chaotic in, say, the first third of the laps. A few more incidents in the early stages, perhaps, but that win from Axel Slijepcevic quite a statement under a lot of pressure, of course, across the course of those 25 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations to Slijepcevic, and commiserations Grossman as well. That one small error. I'm going to sound like a broken record. Pushing on a little bit too much into that chicane is costing drivers big time. It's still a top 5 finish, so decent points to be taken away from there. And Matt Swain as well, as you mentioned, a slightly frenetic start, able to recover and at least take back P3. So continuing on with those podium scoring positions after a good qualifying.
There we go then, just waiting for the last few drivers to come over the line before we call this one. In fact, now we can call this one. We'll go into a warm-up session now. But before we take a break here on the comms, here is your result from that second race of the evening for round 3 of this season's Club 100 iRacing Championship. Slijepcevic from Sanders, under a quarter of a second between the two of them, ahead of Swain, Riddervold, Grossman. That was your top 5. Michael Weddle won out in the battle between himself and Max Andrews for P6. Peter Knight, great result there, using all of his experience to record, I think that's the first top 10 of the season for Peter Knight there in P8, ahead of 2 very experienced drivers in the shape of Andy Alston and Jack Eyre. Joao Castro, P11, ahead of Murray Adams, Cam Watson. Mike Hart fights back to P14 from the back of the grid. Great drive there, ahead of the first of the intermediates, Matthew Shawnee. Sam Dimolo, P16, ahead of Lawrence Vines and Sam Spinell, who had problems in that race. Sean Patterson came home inside a top 20, completed by James Fremont. Daniel Cook was next up, P21, ahead of Tom Saunders, Matt Hale and Eric Mignon. And then drivers off the lead lap: Whitehouse, Delamere, Boylan and Ward. Theda Cooper and Tom Roberts are classified inside the top 30. Oliver Mulvey-Walker was also 2 laps down. Problems for John Adey, Asan Iqbal, Jack Mitchell-Lowe, Adam Brown and Tim Ellis. I don't think started that race. We'll take a short break here on the comms and be back in about 5 or 6 minutes for the start of race number 3. Flag about to be in the air. There it is. Eyes on those lights. They're coming on. 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights. The KZ third heat is go. Good start for Albanese. He's going to hold the lead into turn 1 ahead of Gustafsson. The rest of the field filing through. Good start down into turn 2 and turn 3. The race result because of Mottram's penalty. But Daniel Munro has had this titanic duel with Rory O'Regan this year. It wasn't Rory's day, but it is Daniel Munro's day. Daniel Munro wins at Rye House and is champion for the 2nd year in a row in a Club 100 Juniors category. Yeah, and always going to switch back here to the inside. That's a beautiful move by Reed on the inside through Park. Showed a bit of a dummy there to Carl Garnett. Brave stuff from the championship leader. That's him up to 3rd. As there is Hugo Schwarzer out of the race. Well, we were talking about Slater needing to outscore Schwarzer by 10 points. As Charlie Hart's off and into the grass, catches it up and somehow keeps himself in 2nd place and pointing in the right direction. Fernandez has lost the position. I think it's Seaworthy who's come through into 2nd place. What a moment. Push on these tyres. We've seen it throughout the weekend that the Maxxis compound really rewards a driver, but he's going to have to take a lot of energy out of himself and the cars as we look at a replay here of Martinez and Lyson side by side into turn 1. Wow. Really close there. Bit of contact between the two of them. And Martinez up on the curb. This is another replay. This time it's Craigie versus Martinez into the same portion of the circuit. There you see Martinez trying to go around the outside, gets off the rubbered in part of track, and that's where he loses out to Jack Eiler. It was right on the limit of adhesion for Schaufler. On the brakes down the inside, comes Dries van Langendonk, immediately retakes the lead at the next opportunity into turn 1. Mins is going to go down the inside. Big move from the Briton for Ricky Flynn. Motorsport, and it's worked. Costoya goes through as well. Arias is now challenging Schaufler. It's all gone wrong for the Austrian. 3 laps to go, 2.5 laps to go. This is Dries van Langendonk's best opportunity now. He's got to go hard and break away from the rest of them, leave them fighting for 2nd place. Oh, it's down the inside, contact, and Lettimaki spins, and Schaufler retires both of them out. No points at all for the championship leader. Lettimaki is absolutely furious. That is the risk. Two championship rivals side by side. Ovington's got past Nicky Taylor, and now the sight that Alex Solly did not want to see this weekend. It started as an absolute disaster for Tom Ovington, retiring on lap 1 of race 1. Now he finds himself side by side with Alex Solly heading towards Copse Corner. Harry Hickton's trying to make an overtake as well on Jack Byrne there, and I think he's pulled it off through Copse Corner. Side by side once again between Solly and Ovington. Ovington takes a hop across the curve. Moved by Buckley on Mackie. I think they're resigned to fighting for the last spot on the podium. Can Benjamin Maniac get another home victory? He looks to the inside, and there's the near contact there. Through goes Benjamin Maniac. What a move through turn 4. By side, they're wheel banging through turn 12. It's still not done. One more corner to go. Pradir down the inside. Has he carried too much speed? He's got the control. Thomas Pradir's going to take another line, but here comes Maniac. Maniac on the line, and he takes it. Benjamin Maniac wins it with a classic at Swearer by 0.015. It's a home victory for the Spaniard, and he takes the lead in the championship. What a finish. It's not bad for either of them to the inside. Pritchard Williams, that's going to bring Hunter back into play. Connington back into play. Higgins, Lilly, McQueen, Bishop, Geraghty, Graham, Joshua Graham's back in this as well. As down into Ashby. Teddy Pritchard Williams is trying to hold the ball up. Surely this is going to come to blows for someone. 3 wide. McQueen round the outside takes 4th place. That is experience. This is why he's been race winner in this race so many times, 3 times before. Can he find a way through? Back in comes Gilbert as well. Over the curb again, jumping over that curb. Huge amounts of it taken by Guy Cunnington. There's going to be 3 more laps of this one, ladies and gentlemen, and we still don't know. We haven't a clue who's going to be Open Champion for 2024. Hunter to the outside!
Oh, no!
And goes across the grass. Pritchard Williams spins out, and it's gone because Macaulay Bishop, the winner of the junior race last year, with 2 laps to go, Hunter is out. That is it. The run for the last 2 years will not continue to 3, and it's 1, 2, 3 clear of the field. Gilbert defends the outside. Bishop around the outside. That is outrageous. The junior champion from last year has done thousands of overtakes round Wilton Mill over the years. That may well be the best one he's ever done. Welcome back, everybody, to KNOCKHILL. Apologies. The new user interface is far prettier than the old one, but Butterfingers here didn't press that button combination in the right order. Reeve, first 2 races of your CLUB100 iRACING commentary career. What have you thought of it?
Yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it so far. Plenty to talk about, plenty of action, and a lot of cars on a very small circuit. Always going to be exciting to watch. Looking forward to seeing how our drivers negotiate the final race of the night. Maybe a few drivers thinking, you know what, I haven't shone yet. I haven't got the results that I know that I can get given the pace that I have. So maybe we're going to see some drivers finally showing what they can do out on circuit this evening.
So if you're just joining us, you're not missing any competitive action. Don't worry. This is we call it a warm-up, but for some people it's almost a bit of a warm-down. Just a bit of a break before they get into race 3, because potentially they've done qualifying, race 1 and then race 2 back to back to back. It's going to be very pretty out there, though. Thank you to iRacing for this and all the information that it gives you. We normally in-game start these sessions at noon, and then when I put that in and it goes through and it tells you, okay, right, this session will be at this time of day and this session will be at this time of day. I then noticed that that race 3 would start at 4:30 sim time. And KNOCKHILL is not floodlit. So it's like, okay, we'll tell iRacing that we're starting our free practice at 11 o'clock. And hopefully it'll then look really, really pretty as the sun starts to go down at 3:30 in sim time, as opposed to 4:30 where it'll be pitch black. the aficionados amongst you may remember we had a Daytona event, I want to say back in like 2021, where Mr. Hicks, bless him, we ran on the legacy version of Daytona because someone was being tight and northern and didn't want everybody to have to buy the new version. We didn't realise that one of the big updates that you had with the new Daytona, that's not actually that new anymore, was that they had a flood lighting. And the lights turned off of us as we were running an NASCAR race down the back stretch at Daytona. It's like, oh, this has not gone well. So yeah, no, although I am shocked, Reeve, that we've got to 3 rounds gone so far. We have not had any rain yet. We were banking on some rain for Knockhill, and it's given us glorious conditions.
That is remarkable for Scotland at this time of year, but nonetheless, I mean, you know, these MX-5s do have headlights, worse comes to worse. Yes,
they do.
And wipers as well, which I did see. I think it was Stephen in the comments earlier on saying these wipers are mainly being used to keep gravel off.
Yes. They are indeed. The warm up, the break session is done. Let's have a look through the grid then for this last race of the night. Again, this is the result of race number 2. Axel Sliepcevic and Sam Sanders on the front row. Matt Swain and Magnus Ridevold row 2. Ronald Grossman and Michael Weddle row 3. Max Andrews and Peter Knight row 4. Andy Alston and Jack Eyre row 5. João Castro and Murray Adams on row number 6, then Cam Watson, Mike Hart, row 7. Matthew Shawnee and Sam Dimolo, that's an all-intermediate row number 8, ahead of Vines and Spinell. Patterson and Fremont on row 10. Cook and Saunders, row 11. Hale and Mignon on the next row number 12. Back of the grid then, David Whitehouse and Simon Delamere on row 13. Kira Boylan and Colin Ward on, and we're about to go. Let's cut away from that grid because they've all loaded in really, really quickly, more quickly than I was expecting, and away we go then for 25 minutes here for the last time tonight at Knockhill, down towards Duffer's Dip for the first time in this one. All looking pretty clean so far at the front of the field, running up once again through towards the chicane from Butchers into the chicane, looking pretty clean so far as they run out of the chicane and towards Clark Corner. Axel Sliepcevic will be very happy with this start, Reeve.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't ask more as a race leaders. We Sanders just behind, followed by Swain as well. There's Grossman just behind as well, trying to make amends, I get the feeling, for that previous race end as he heads up into P4 now. But Sliepcevic heading through Taylor's, a little bit of pressure potentially from Sanders, who does get a very good run out of that final corner, but everyone else looking pretty composed otherwise as our top 3. Look at how close they are, benefiting as much as they can from that slipstream. It is very close quarters. Into Duffer's Dip we go. Sliepcevic leads us now into the elevation drop. McIntyre comes up next, that right-hander there, which is pretty high speed. It lures you into a false sense of security for the chicane. Coming up next, as we can see, the gravel being slightly carried onto the track, but overall it has abated away from the circuit after qualifying, and all of the rest of our drivers making it through cleanly as well.
Am I a madman for suggesting this? I want us to run this circuit with more formats. I think we could have some real fun with this. I say GT3s, GT3s and LMP2 endurance race, 6-hour race around Knockhill. It's going to happen. Right, we've had some problems, unfortunately, on the first lap of this race. Here we go, the run-through of them. Oh, dear, James Fremont was off there. Sean Patterson has been collected, one of the rookies. So that was all coming down towards Butcher's corner. Kira Boylan, I think, was also... that's quite a spectacular one. So, front of Kira's car, pitched up into the air. He's running with the Motorsport Woman organisation. You see the logo there of them on the side of the car. Oh, and I think has Kira got damage potentially, or it's just there's damage on that car, I think. Or is just trying to get the brakes up to temperature. There's also been a problem for Cam Watson on lap 2. This was the view. Oh dear, that's going to be a high speed off. That's going to be a big off. Didn't quite see from that particular angle what the trigger of that one was. But all of a sudden, Cam Watson's car wanted to turn left into a right-hander. That is sometimes the strategy if you're Lightning McQueen, but that is not the optimum strategy at that point here at Knockhill. Mike Hart has also had a bit of an off. Oh! Collected into one of the parachuted carrots there. That'll have either been John Adey or Matthew Shawnee, and loses a lot of positions. If it was Matthew Shawnee, yeah, Matthew Shawnee showing on our event tracker as having had some incidents out there as well. Oh, James Fremont nearly having a moment also. Matt Hale has had an off. I'm not even sure what's happening there. Oh, that's an even further off for Matt Hale later on out of the chicane. Also Simon Delamere has had a trip through the kitty litter. Oh, has got caught up by... See, again, the first few laps around here at Knockhill proving to be a little bit chaotic tonight. I can tell I'm going to be watching quite a few incidents with a beer and some crisps late on into the evening. What happened to Colin Ward as well? Oh, there, dear. Oh. That was a collision, I think, with Hassan Iqbal. Again, two drivers both going. That's almost like the Clay Pigeon chicane. Well, that's why JV tells us don't try and go too wide through the chicane at Clay Pigeon. It won't end well. There's more of these, folks. I think Mike Hart may have had a subsequent problem. This was down towards the final chicane. Atty Cooper just ahead of him. Just gets the braking a bit wrong there, does Mike. And round after contact with the rookie. Matthew Shawnee. That's another one out of the chicane. Going off to driver's right. We know what happens there. And I think one last one for good luck. Hassan Iqbal having an incident with Tim Ellis coming up round the far side of the circuit. And one more, sorry, for good luck. I think Sam Dimolo and Daniel Cook have had a collision together. This was into the final hairpin, and boop, round goes one, round goes the other, and gets hit by Eric Mignon for good measure. Right, I think everybody's stopped crashing into one another now into the second half of the field. Let's go back with our race leaders. 5 minutes gone, 5 minutes of replays of incidents out there. I'm going to be a busy boy. Ben Mills, our independent steward, big thanks to Sim staff as ever for their continued support. Are probably going to be a bit busier tonight. It's my own fault. Admin team's fault that we suggested Knockhill for a Masters race. But it's been good at the front, hasn't it, Reeve? This is another great scrap between Slepčević and Swain.
Yeah, absolutely. We see Sanders now leads the charge as we drop down to step once more. It's Slepčević versus Swain, as you say, side by side, down the start, finish straight. But bringing into the mix, it's Grossman and Weddle as well. They're not too far behind at all. As we ride over the sausage curbs of the chicane once more. There we see looking to have a move around the outside. It's Swain. Can he make it stick as we head on to the railway straight? You know what? I think he can. Swain with a fantastic move. Hang on. Here comes Grossman as well. Slepčević caught out, just trying to play it safe, I think, heading down the inside there. Being particularly brave. Grossman and Swain working their way on through. Now, Slepčević might have a bit of recourse here as the inside line for Taylors is able to go later on the brakes, get a nose out in front, and it's going to be a typical drag race up the start finish straight once more. Slepčević has the inside for toughest dip. Around the outside would be Grossman. Can he make it stick? I've seen that move in the past. Pedals just on the rear bumper as well. We see Atty Cooper courteously waiting out of the way there. And that is Grossman going very wide on the exit of toughest. Is able to collect it. Loses position to Weddle. Loses position to Riddervold as well. Slepčević safe for now, but Swain on through.
Really good racing again here at Knockhill at the front of the field at least. I think there's been further problems for Sam Dimolo out there, although this might have actually been a recovery. Yeah, no, that was a recovery from the previous incident. Oh no, that's not good driving. Oh, Sam won't be too proud of himself with that one. That, I think, was Sam trying to cut into pit lane, not realising that Atty Cooper was there, and that was the result. So that is not good to see at all. Cam Watson's been... Whoa, that's quite a strange one. I don't even know how to describe that one.
I would suspect that, given the rear-end damage on the back of that MX-5, that already there has been some exploratory manoeuvres, shall we say, and
Yes.
potentially that car is less than happy at this point.
Yeah, Jack Ayres had a problem out there as well. Oh, I think we know what's coming here. It's either going to go left or right. Jack, that's not too bad an incident by what we've seen so far tonight. Atty Cooper is showing. No, that was just Atty getting out of the way of the race leaders. So that's not a crash. It's because SDK has a speed threshold. If a driver drops below said speed threshold, SDK considers them to have crashed.
So it does.
So that was not a crash for Atty. That was just good driving to keep out of the way of the race leaders. Drivers who've had good runs up through the field, as now 8 minutes in. It's been very similar to race number 2. I think it's just settling down now. Sam Spinell up 7 places so far in this race. Apologies, Sam. Your Paragon livery has not come through tonight. I'm not quite sure why, but it hasn't. It might be something to do with previously, I think Murray just said to me, I held it as a local copy, and now Treading Plains has overwritten saved local copy. We'll try and get that fixed for the next round. Tom Saunders has had a good drive up through the field as well. Has gained 10 places so far in this race. And lap times at Tom at the moment in the mid-56s. This is a good scrap. And I think good use of reason to put the battle box on the screen. This is the battle for 9th place with Saunders and Spinell at the rear of it. Max Andrews at the moment not having as strong a night as he did at Navarra. Don't think finished outside of the top 3 at Navarra, but it's been kind of mithered down in the second half of the top 10 so far tonight. That's good stuff there.
I mean, we can't ask for too much more different circuits, really, can we?
No.
As we head into Knockhill for this second time out in the MX-5s.
Is he running order in the clubbing category? Remember, the points are determined by the overall finishing position of a driver. Swain, Riddervold, Weddell, Grossman, Alston, all scoring well at the moment in those ranks within the category of the clubmans. Very much set for drivers who are known to be quick, but maybe not alien quick, or with prior experience in the championship. Gives them a chance to compete for something versus some of the aliens. Although I still say it, we haven't got any of the 9K aliens in at the moment. Our highest ranked driver in terms of iRACING today is Axel Slijepcevic at a reasonable 7.4 KI rating.
Well, that just puts me to shame, quite frankly, doesn't it?
I say I will hope one day to break 2 KI rating. Hope being the key word there. Running through the rest of the order, who's doing well in rookie class? Peter Knight. Peter, if you're watching this later, pal, you're moving up to intermediate, because I've just seen you've got a 2.1 KI rating. So you've been farming, not aura farming. You've been iRACING farming.
Isn't that the same thing?
Well, I suppose it kind of is in this world. Yeah, but no, these performances as well from Peter, very strong indeed. Running with the Paragon livery. Yeah, I think he's going to be moving up to intermediate and into a chance of winning one of the prize drives for next year. Peter made a very big breakthrough. He made a Micah Richards style breakthrough, burst onto the scene. That's the phrase I was looking for. At the end of, I want to say, the 2021. It was the end of the first Young Drivers Championship. Before CLUB100 history lesson for you now, Reeve, that you probably know already, because you do your research and you do your facts like any good commentator. The Junior Championship was originally called the Young Drivers Championship. Peter Knight was one of the first winners in that one, or at least race winners, and came and did a race in senior sprints when he turned of age in a C2. He was designated a C2, and he nearly beat all of the C1s, and everyone was like, what is this? What is this young kid coming in and beating us all lightweight senior sprint drivers who've been doing this for many, many years. And he's carried on from there on. It does a lot of racing now in the British Pro Kart Endurance Championship, does Peter. Oh dear. We've been pretty good so far tonight, mate, but I think we've had our first commentary curse of the evening. Did I not say about 3 minutes ago, Sam Spinell's having a really good race and moving up through the order. Then this happened.
Ouch! That is a big off right into that gravel trap. Time to recover. If you don't have to dive into the pits, I believe, are we seeing Sam dropping into the pits? Don't you know he is able to continue on?
I think Sam's got stuck in the wall again. This is the second time tonight that Sam's car has got stuck to something. Earlier on, it was Oliver Mulvey-Walker, and now it was the tyre barrier. And Sam's stuck. That's very strange. But I sympathise. I once got stuck in a wall in an LMP2 car on the exit of Carlton Corner at Le Mans in the not so... be careful what I say now. The totally generic, in line with licensing contracts, general 24-hour race held in the middle of France in the endurance series on iRacing. That one, that event, we got stuck in the wall. We got van-walled. As you can tell, totally over it. As we lost our potential to win in LMP2 in our splits. Anyway, 40 minutes of this race gone. It's all calmed down a bit recently, I'd say. Here's a good scrap. This is Ronald Grossman on our screens. Michael Weddle not too far behind. Really good run here for Michael Weddle Reeve. As I say, it was not in the first 2 rounds of the championship, but it seems to be straight back on pace. And I'd actually argue better pace than we've seen from Michael before. Looking almost like a little bit of a premier here. All of these top 6 looking like premiers, considering they're keeping pace with the likes of Sanders and Slijepcevic.
Indeed, sorry, I am just diagnosing a few technical issues while we head along here. First time out in iRacing, of course, in the stream, and a few little bumps in the road. Very nice. I didn't realise that these drivers would still be going for so much for a slipstream, even the MX-5s, even at a shorter circuit like this.
It is one of the things that is liked about the MX-5. It's been a part of this championship ever since day one, back in you-know-which year, when we couldn't race in real life. We raced at Okayama. Whoa! Grossman's had a bit of a moment there. Somebody else has had a moment up the road also. Lawrence Vines possibly going off the road. Oh no, this is a different part of the lap. Whoa, that's a big amount of curb, Lawrence. Out onto the grass. Jack Mitchell-Lowe might have been the driver. No, this was again through that same part of the course. Just following Lawrence in a bit of sympathy. Sam Dimolo not having the best of races here. What else has happened to Sam? That isn't what I would describe. I think that's him just keeping out of the way of the race leaders, actually. It's an alternative way of doing it. Would have picked up an off-track for his troubles. Matt Swain now leading this race. Let's try and find you where Matt actually got the race lead. Because I've got a feeling that was quite a recent move for the race lead. Yes, it'll have been this one. So Sanders a bit wide. That's the far side of the circuit again. And then, well, that'd be one of the most easy overtakes of the year for a race lead, you'd feel, for Matt Swain. Oh, now, has there been drama with Magnus Riddervold? Quite possibly so. Oh, that was caught catching the end of it. Oh, no, well, that wasn't catching the end of it at all. Now, who was that on the outside? There's more cars involved. That looks to have taken out quite a few of our front runners. A lot of damage to the front end of Riddervold's car. This was it. So Riddervold's already had a subsequent incident. Come back onto circuit. Is minding his own business on the inside of the corner. And yeah, it's Tom Saunders on the outside. Jack Eyre gets caught up in that as well. Well, that's a bit of a silly one in my book, Reeve. Magnus has come back onto the track, but has held himself to one side of the circuit. He can't disappear. I know we've seen some drivers driving off circuit to avoid the race leaders tonight, but they don't have to do that. And, well, that is not a good moment there for any of those drivers involved.
Absolutely not. So we now look on to Matt Swain leading the charge in the final 10 minutes of this race. And if you look back to race 1, perhaps this would have been exactly what you expected. This is, of course, where he was running nice and early on in that race, had that pressure for quite a while. One small error cost him big time, as we've seen on a number of occasions so far this evening. Is this redemption now for Matt Swain? He's got a decent margin, and I say decent, I only mean a few car lengths, to Sam Sanders behind. Sam Sanders has a larger gap to the Epswich behind as well, but we now effectively have a 7-minute sprint there or thereabouts for Swain to try and bring it home.
I've just realised in the last 5 minutes or so, for your fellow Liverpool carters, Reeve, don't mention who, because that would be giving the game away. Oh dear, Sam Dimolo is having a bit of an off-track excursion and has had an incident and will cut into the pit lane. Their unnamed mentioned driver, unnamed favourite driver, I should say, is not here tonight.
No.
But their other favourite driver is up 17 places. So well done to Tom Roberts, up into the top 13. And you never know, could be more, could be more. What's the pace like at the moment for Tom? 55.9s compared with, there's a few drivers directly ahead in the 56s and the 57s. So we'll keep an eye on Tom through the last 6 minutes of this race. Meanwhile, the snacks and beverages, they'll just have to be saved for round 4, won't they? Or they'll need to find a new favourite driver in the field.
Oh dear.
Moving on, Ronald Grossman here in P4. I've got to say that the rookies, on the whole, I think have driven really well. There was, when I was seeing drivers being caught on lap 8, lap 9, I was like, oh no, what have we done here? But I think the obeying the blue flags and being predictable for the race leaders has been very, very good across the course of this evening. Don't curse it now, rookies, now that we've got 5 minutes of this race to go. But these are good laps for Matt Swain, starting to edge out ahead. This is the battle for third place, Slijepcevic, Grossman and Weddle.
Yes, we're on board with Grossman at the moment. As you say, Andrew, Grossman has a look around the outside onto the railway straight. Is potentially going to be able to slingshot around the outside. Taylor's here, if he's late enough on the brakes. Let's see how that is negotiated. Has to watch out, has to lead through, but it's done. Grossman heads on through. Colin Ward, we're on board with now heading up the start-finish straight. But as you mentioned, Andrew, our rookies here doing an immense job of dealing with being lapped traffic. If they can build that experience here at Knockhill, that's going to put us in very good stead for the rounds coming later on in the season.
It is indeed. Matt Swain, though, has not got this race won. I've got to say for Sam Sanders tonight as well. Sam Sanders, in seeing, perhaps the names of the likes of a Matt Kendall, your champion from last year, Kieran Harrison, not racing this season. Go back to the Josh Ladd days as well. Sam would have been, forgiven for thinking, yes, finally, I can win one of these. And then all these new rapid clubmans turn up. And Sam was down in about 6th, 7th place last time we were in the Masters a month ago. Well, he's clearly been practicing again and gone, oh yeah, if I want to take that first championship title, I'm gonna have to keep training, gonna have to keep pushing hard. He's taken the battle tonight up to the likes of Matt Swain and Axel Slijepcevic.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's been a bit of a dark horse, really, after qualifying. We knew, obviously, certainly had the pace, but it's been very much on our screens for so much of this evening's racing. Matt Swain, and as I mentioned earlier on, I think it's a bit of redemption now. He's got to work it out for him to keep Sanders behind.
Yep.
But Swain could be on for another, well, maybe his maiden race win of the evening.
Could be indeed. Got the clean sweep last time around. I think Cam Watson has had a bit of a race to forget. Oh dear, who was going off the circuit there? Was that Daniel Cook possibly having a moment through the last corner? Oh yes, it was. Oh, cart goes line. Oh, into the wall. Yeah, that's the end of hopes for Cook to be in the top 25. I'm going to drive across the circuit into... that needs to tow to the pits, and I can tell you that, yes.
Yeah, that's failing an MOT, that.
Yeah, that's not going anywhere very quickly. Other drivers who've been up the orders. SDK, another thing, lovely thing, Reeve, that it tells you. This is very useful if you're going to go out and do some public iRacing yourself. It tells you how much iRacing you would be gaining. Unfortunately, this being a private lobby, that is not going to be the case for some of these drivers. But the likes of Ollie, Mulvey Walker, Matthew Shawnee, David Whitehouse, Jack Mitchell-Lowe, Asan Iqbal, James Fremont. If this was a public lobby, they'd all be getting 100 plus iRating right now.
Very impressive stuff.
Yeah, very, very good.
And you've segued nicely in for my opportunity to say, Tom Roberts, you're the only driver who would be losing iRating.
Oh dear. On my screen, it says he's only gaining 19. So maybe the maths.
It says he's losing 3.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
I think
Matt Swain right out in the dirt there. We'll stick with this battle for the race lead. I'm afraid the points have been so up and down tonight, I couldn't possibly start to say who confidently is going to be your round winner. But if Matt Swain can hold on to this, either way, it's been 3 solid races. Championship points all get tallied up. Drop scores come into play much later in the season. Remember, it's a whole dropped race night, worst race night. It's not a race, one race from round 1, another race from round 3 and all that business. It's quite simply, in the MX-5s, the worst total MX-5 night for a driver, worst total GT3 night, and then the next worst. That's what comes up as the 3 drops for a driver. We're on the final lap of this one now. And Matt Swain, well, he's not got any traffic to deal with on this one. That's what got in his way in the first race. Gave Grossman the opportunity to get down the inside and take that first win of the race night away from him. Sam Sanders is not going to give this one up. We've got one more corner to go here. The race cannot end quick enough here for Matt Swain, because look how much traffic there would be if they went on to another lap. I think they're just about going to get away with this. Matt Swain out of the final corner is going to take his 3rd race win of the season to add to the 2 in the GT3s that he got at Sebring over the line. That may well give him the round win as well. We'll tally the points up in later this evening. Keep an eye on the Double Dash Motorsport Media social medias for news on that. Sam Sanders P2 comes home there in a nice position. It'll be P3 for Axel Slijepcevic. The rest of the drivers coming over the line. Oh, look at this battle over the line for 9th place. Very close indeed between Riddervold and Adams. But the rest of them coming over the line now. Just going to note Peter Knight there taking the win in the rookie category. Some really great drives from some of our rookies here tonight. Oliver Mulvey Walker, another one of them. And other drivers just coming over the line now to complete things. As Asan Iqbal over the line. P21 in that race. Up 12 positions for Asan there. A good run there in the 340. Gaining pace all the time. And yeah, I think, is that all of them over the line? Yes, it is. The result has just popped up in our little module here to turn that around and show you the race result that looked a little bit like this. Matt Swain takes the race victory, takes another 80 championship points. Sam Sanders finishes P2. That is a much stronger run for Sam here tonight. Axel Slijepcevic P3. Mike Weddle P4 had a very good performance from Ronald Grossman P5. Max Andrews, Andy Elston, Joao Castro, Magnus Riddervold and Murray Adams all in the top 10 ahead of Tom Roberts. Peter Knight was top rookie in that race, 12th place overall. Great result ahead of some very experienced drivers. None more so than Jack Air there, P13. Ollie Mulvey Walker, P14, second of the rookies. Was ahead of the top 2 in intermediates, Matthew Shawnee. David Whitehouse, great run there for David. Less than 40 seconds off the race leader. Jack Mitchell-Lowe, P17. Solid points for Jack, as expected, here in a set of cars that he does drive in real life. Lawrence Vines, was P18. Into the second half of the field, Tim Ellis, Mike Hart there in the top 20. Asan Iqbal and James Fremont finished on the lead lap there, P21 and P22. Colin Ward, Matt Hale, Kira Boylan, Simon Delamere, Eric Mignon, Sean Patterson, all finished at least one lap off the overall lead. Dan Cook and Athena Cooper complete the top 30. Problems out there for Cam Watson, Tom Saunders, Sam Dimolo, Sam Spinale, Adam Brown, and John Adey, who has sent a message in and said, "Hi guys, great racing. Knockhill broke my rig." Oh no! Oh John, I hope whatever's happened is fixable. I don't like it when people's rigs break in our league because I hope whatever it is, you can get it fixed for 2 weeks' time, all being well. Nürburgring, not the Nordschleife, because I can't do that. We can't do that yet. Maybe one day, but not in 2 weeks' time in the GT3s. If you want to be on the grid, as I say, we've got 3 places remaining in terms of the entries. To be eligible, you need to be a driver who has a racing history in Club 100 or the BUKC, a current racing record in BPEC, a strong relation of the above, e.g. you could be a mum, you could be a dad, you could be a grandparent, you could be an uncle, you could be an auntie of a cadet Club 100 driver, because we don't allow the cadets in. They've got to be 13 years of age or older to be on iRacing, of course. And then, of course, as well, you can be the member of a BUKC-affiliated university society. And, of course, you can be a holder of a Motorsport UK esports license, including the free one. It doesn't have to be the paid one where you get all of the perks with it. So, as I say, head across to the SimGrid. Link is in the description below. All the entries, whether it's for the GT3s or the MX5 events, it's all done through that MX5 page first. And then on receipt of your payment of £30 for the entry fee for the whole season, admin team will kick into gear. Reeve Taylor, what have you thought of your first night as a commentator on the Club 100 iRacing Championship?
Thoroughly enjoyed my time, Andrew. Thank you very much for having me. What a great venue to start at as well. We had, I think, the right balance of eclectic action, shall we say, combined with some more interesting racecraft. You know, this track is one that drivers have certainly have to think about how they navigate their way through. But given the challenges that they faced, I think all of our drivers did very well. So thoroughly enjoyed my time, and thank you all for watching, and thank you for having me on as well, Andrew.
Been a pleasure having you here with us, mate. So that's us all done then for round number 3 of this season's Club 100 iRacing Championship. There's more gravel out of the gravel traps than there is in the gravel traps tonight. But that was to be expected, as I say. It was a bit of a curveball choice tonight to go for a race here round Knockhill. As I say, 2 weeks' time, we will be back. Fingers crossed, iRacing gave us a little bit of a scare earlier this evening as to whether we were going to be racing or not. But big thanks to the iRacing team who got everything back under control and ready for us, and I'm sure many other leagues racing tonight to be able to compete. We will be back 2 weeks' time for the Nürburgring. If I've got my facts right, I should just check them, shouldn't I? Not just say I think. I should know. Where our next race in, I thought it was, this next one for the MX5s, I'm really, 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 really looking forward to. It's not a circuit that we've run in the championship before, but particularly at this time of year, it is one that is quite prevalent in people's minds. I think at least one of our groups was trying to get an entry to Jimmy Broadbent's Race for Mental Health, the 23 Hours of Zolder. If any of our community are involved in that race, best of luck. If you are not from a racing capacity, do get involved. It's a brilliant thing that Jimmy does every year. If you don't know why the story of why is it 23 Hours of Zolder and not 24 Hours of Zolder, do check it out. It is rather amusing, and I love that they've continued on that tradition. But yes, do get involved. Do donate whatever you can. Why am I all talking about this? Is because we've got our next MX5 race at Zolder as well. That will be in just over a month's time. All of the details are, of course, over on the sim grid for the dates and the wherevers. So, as I say, 2 weeks' time, we will be at the Nürburgring in some shape or form for the start of the next GT3 round. When it comes to X5s, we'll be at Zolder in just over a month's time. Get involved on the sim grid, and if you've enjoyed the broadcast tonight, do make sure that you have given us a like and a subscribe. Right, we're going to round things off there. Sure enough, Sheffield United have gone 2-1 down whilst I've been doing that roundup. I'm going to go and cry and drown my sorrows with that one. Thank you very much for joining us here tonight. And, of course, this weekend we've got in real life Club 100 action for you. Our good friends over at Alpha Live. We will all be down, both of us, will be down at Buckmore Park for the finale of the Cadet and Junior South Championships. If the North Championships final day of the season was anything to go by up at Warden Law a few weeks ago, it should be an absolute belter at one of the best tracks in the country, one of my favourite tracks in the country. Hope you can be with us. We'll have full broadcasting of qualifying and the 2 rounds of races on both Saturday and Sunday for the cadets and juniors. Right, thank you very much, everybody, for your support. Thank you for your time. For those of you who will be down at Buckmore at the weekend, we will both see you there. But for now, thank you for joining us, and goodbye.